It is time once again for the Jefferson College Sports Report on 1400 KJFF here at the Fieldhouse. We are talking with Kevin Emmerich, head coach of the women's basketball program, as another victory was had by the Lady Vikings over the weekend as they defeated Moberly on a Saturday, 74-52. Solid victory Saturday, Coach. Good way to go out as far as sophomore day was concerned. It went over very well.
It was. The whole day was great. We had a great crowd, and our kids played well. Moberly is an athletic, talented team, as we've talked about, and I thought we handled them probably as well as any game we played for maybe a month. So that was positive, and we just steadily continued to increase the lead and did a good job defensively on them and limit them to one shot most times, not all the time, but most times. And so I thought we did a good job on them, really well.
Hey, some people like to use the term kind of cruise to victory. That was one of those games where you kind of cruised.
Yep.
You were in control the entire time. You didn't build up the big lead until later in the second half, but it just seemed like the game, it was never in doubt that you were going to lose that game on your home floor.
I felt the same way during the game. I thought our players played really confident. They played steady. They were focused. We just kept doing what we do, and they struggled with that a little bit. They had a hard time guarding us. And when we felt like they were guarding us well, we changed into something else and tried to switch it up a little bit, and then they had trouble guarding us again for a while. So our players were real focused. They ran our stuff really well. We were good enough defensively to shut them down. They hit some perimeter jumpers on us, but they've got some great shooters, and they're going to do that. So they got some good kids, and we tried to limit them to just that and kind of control their people inside, and I think that was the difference in the game.
You did a pretty good job, I thought, defensively in the contest. And I say that not only because you held the team to 52 points, but you seemed to really force them to take shots that they didn't want to take. They were very quick when they ran their offense. They were taking quick shots, not really setting up for the good ones.
Yeah, I think that's right. CT was a big part of that, and Net and Candy, and to some extent Robin. We tried to get the ball off the center of the floor coming across the half-court line and not let them attack us from the middle of the floor, and our kids did a great job of that most times against Moberly, and that kind of allowed us to rotate some people on the backside into help and kind of made it tough for them to run some things they wanted to run. And if they don't shoot the ball as well from out as they did, the game's even a bigger margin of victory than that. But give them credit. They made some big shots, and as you said, they made some quick shots to come down and just knock down shots. And they can do that, but eventually in a game like this, you got to get good shots, you got to get good looks, and they didn't always.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I thought something else that really helped is the fact that you did get out rebounded in the ball game, especially on the offensive end. They had a couple of times where they had 2 or 3 looks and still didn't score.
They did.
But the reason why your team is getting away from it and getting away with it for the most part is because you're taking better shots, you're protecting the basketball a lot more, and you're forcing turnovers. That's a good equalizer for the fact that you get out-rebounded from time to time.
Yeah, I'm going to bring you on the bench with me next week and let you coach. It sounds like you've got it down, because that's exactly what we talk about in the pregame and at halftime is exactly what you said. If you're going to not be 6'2", 6'3", and big in the post, then you've got to make up for it in other ways. And Ryan, you're exactly right. Our kids are focused on that. We really try to get up the line on defense and stop ball penetration. And at times this year, because you've seen the games, when we haven't stopped ball penetration, we haven't been very successful defensively. But I thought we did the other night and rotated into help, and I thought that was one of the big differences in the game.
No question, the quick hands from your guards really helped. A lot of balls being stripped away, a lot of passes being deflected to other teammates, things like that.
Yes,
that's what you need to do defensively.
There really was, and a lot of that was down in the post. A lot of it from the backside, so Moberly didn't really see it coming. And CT had a triple-double with 13 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and those rebounds were big in the first half. And she had a ton of steals too, and I'm not sure we caught them all, but she was down in there digging and scratching, like you said, on the post and getting her hand on things. And a lot of times she didn't come up with the ball, but she's the one that knocked it loose. So she played a great game in there from the backside, and you're right, that made a big difference.
You talked about how athletic Bush is for that team, and boy, I was really impressed with what she's able to do. She probably doesn't have the most pretty shot in the world. Line drive shot, it probably only gets maybe a foot above the rim. But, boy, she's got a pretty touch on it. She hits it more times than not, and from anywhere on the court.
She does, and got a great set of handles. She can go left or right and pull up on kids. And so, yeah, she's probably all region. And, even though Moberly's having a 500 season in region play, she's one of the best players talent-wise in the region. And they're going to give somebody some trouble in the tournament coming up. And of course, there's a lot to be said about where those teams are going to end up in this next week in region play. But Moberly is going to be in the thick of things in the mix.
Well, I wanted to ask you a question because I wasn't sure exactly what had happened, and to be honest, it kind of slipped my mind during postgame. Ashley Cornett had to change jerseys. I guess it must have been just a couple minutes into the ball game, and she came back out in the second half wearing her number 30 again. What happened?
She just got some blood on the front, and we had a couple kids. When that happens, it seems like somebody gets a little blood on their hand or something, and 3 kids have got blood on their uniforms. Well, Ashley ended up with that, and we got it switched out and put the blood uniform on, and so we got it taken off and came back second half. And I think if you tell people there'd be blood in a Moberly Jeffco game, nobody would be surprised, right? So I mean, that's been a tough series and a tough rivalry for a long time, and it was hard fought out there Saturday the same way.
Yeah, I figured that was probably the case where it was somebody's blood got on the jersey, that kind of thing. But just making sure. I'm sure That's what it was. We were suspecting maybe she got a rip or something like that in it, or tore something, or whatever the case may be. But nonetheless, she got out there with wearing number 1 for a little bit.
Yeah. If she played better than that, now we'll keep her in that if we can. But I'll have to go back and review the tape and see if she scored more with that number 1 on. So. Michael tried that, going from 23 to 45, and that didn't work so well. So.
Yeah, it's true.
Cornett thinks she's Michael Jordan, so that may work for her. I'm not sure.
Well, she was one of your 4 players in double figures in the game.
Sure was.
And Evelina Skardinska had 8, and she had all of them in the first half. In fact, she was your leading scorer in the first half of the ball game. That's got to be good to hear.
Evelina's been doing that for the last month or so. She's really been coming on and providing a lift, and the surprising thing was she didn't have 6 or 8 in the second half because she's been real steady. But, she's been playing a lot of minutes. She's been running the floor a lot for us. And that first half, she really gave us a lift. And second half, somebody else picked it up.
See, something else that you did in this ball game that I hadn't seen you do, at least not very much through the season, and you had Evelina and Aya in the lineup at the same time.
Yeah, we tried to play some 32 with the 3 out, 2 in, with those 2 kids in on the block. And we try to step one or maybe both of them out once we get into the flow of the offense and force their posts to kind of come out and guard our bigs on the perimeter. So they have not been coming out very well in most games and guarding our bigs, and Evelina and Aya can both knock down the jump shots. So that's why we did it, and it's a little different look for us, and I think Amanda Essner being on the team gives us the flexibility to do that a little bit, and we can run those 2 in together, and then we can run Amanda in there at the 5 spot and pull those 2 out and give them a break. So it changes our rotation, and Amanda certainly had a good game on Saturday to go along with those 2 guys, and it just changes our rotation, gives us some options.
Yeah, I think Amanda gave you 6 points off the bench, 2 for 2 at the free throw line. You got to like that.
Yeah, she really, what a big lift she gave our kids, and the whole crowd was up when she scored, and she had a great give and go or screen and roll with CT in the first half, and it was at a critical point. We needed those 2 free throws, and she came in and got them for us. So everybody contributed. It was a typical win for us, and we're sure glad to see her catch up with the timing of the game and the speed of the game from high school. She hadn't played for a couple years, and she's catching up pretty quickly, Ryan. She's going to contribute a lot.
And she's been a huge addition, especially now with Ashley Weber kind of being on the shelf with the shoulder problem. Takes a little bit of depth away from you, and everybody got in the ball game. Although Dominique and Callie did not score, they still gave you great minutes. They were rebounding and they were playing good defense.
They both did, yeah, they really did. And Callie and Dominique they're real important to our rotation because in practices and in games, if you're 6 or 7 deep, it's just not enough. And it's not going to be enough Friday, Saturday in the region tournament. You've got to have some depth and some other kids that can step in. And Dominique didn't rotate quite as well, but she certainly gave us a lift in the post playing defense. Callie just rotated real well on defense and saw the ball, played the basketball really well, and gave us a lift on offense. Callie took probably 4 or 5 really great shots, in transition and off the offense, and none of them went down, but next time they will. I mean, she's a good shooter, and those will go down. So, and Dominique is just a typical freshman in the fact that she's such a great player, and she's learning how to catch up and try to understand our system and be more consistent in it. And Dominique's truly a great athlete, and she gives us a lift every night she's out there.
It's always nice to get everybody in there and see them do something.
Yes.
And not everybody does it in the scoring column. Somebody may do it rebounding, somebody may do it with just good box outs, whatever the case may be. And that's what you want to see. You just want to see everybody do something that's going to help the team.
Yeah, this time of year especially, Ryan, it's really important going into region play. And State Fair lost, so this game's a huge game for them coming up. If they beat us, they get the chance to host a home game. I think if we beat them, I think they have to travel that first round. It's possible, so probably a coin flip will determine that. And I can tell you Darren doesn't want it to come down to a coin flip. He wants to get the W and get a home game if he can, and we're pretty determined to finish out the regular season with another W and then get into region play and start a new streak, right?
Absolutely. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. How emotional was it for you on Saturday with it being sophomore day? Even though you still have a chance to play here if you host that play-in game, if you win the region. But how big was it for you knowing that quite possibly this could have been the last time that these 8-9 sophomores that you have on the team played perhaps their last game here?
Well, it was the girls will tell you after a full season with me that I'm emotional both ways. I really care, and I'm focused, and I'm intense, and you know that from watching me coach and watching me coach in practice, and I'm just as emotional the other way. When we start talking about these kids leaving and moving on, I get emotional about it, and I was certainly emotional before the game on Saturday. I talked to each one of them individually before we came out about what they had meant to the program and what it was going to mean to have them move on and not be here. And they kind of feel like, not so much me, but they stabilized this program for Jeffco when Gary moved on and took another job, and they helped us bring the recruits in. They were here all summer working hard, those sophomores, especially the returners. And so they know that they really helped Jefferson College stabilize a situation that, at the time I got here, we only had about 5 healthy players. So it's due to those 5 healthy kids and the other 2 that were here that we really ended up with a 26-3 record at this point. And, they have to have somebody to steer the ship, and I think I've done that. But you've got to have good crew on the ship, and boy, they're great. And I talked to each of them about that before the game on Saturday. I think the fans are going to miss them because they play a fun style of basketball. They've been fun to watch, and we intend to be fun to watch, but I think this year they exceeded that.
I think that's definitely a very true statement, fun to watch. I've always enjoyed watching this group play this year. It is fun when you play an up-tempo style. It's fun when you like to shoot it from the outside a little bit. And although maybe you don't have the post play that you wanted, you don't have the bigs down there that can bang with some of the other kids, the ones you have work at it so hard.
They do. They really do. And I think people have said, there's no bigs in there. They don't have post players. And that myth has kind of perpetuated itself throughout the year to the point where other teams come and prepare for us, and they don't pay much attention to our bigs, really. And our bigs are kind of taking advantage of that. I mean, Evelina and Amanda and Aya and Dominique are taking that to heart and saying, hey, wait a minute, we're part of this too, and we want you to remember us. And so I think you're exactly right on what people thought, and maybe early that was true, but I think that's changing, and that's helping Candy and CT and Robin and Net get a lot of things opened up because our posts are playing better.
And it's not going to be too often you're going to play a team where all of a sudden you're going to see one of the 6'2", 4s or 5s step out and hit it from the top of the key from beyond the arc. That's just not going to happen in most places.
Boy, you're right. And, for all the things people have said about Evelina and I not playing much last year and not being the right kind of fit for Jeffco or, whatever the situation was, they've definitely turned out to be the right fit. And they turned out to fit into our system, and we kind of adjusted our system to fit them a little bit because we had to. They were here, and we had to make it work. And a lot of credit goes to them for that, for their hard work and coachability. They're just willing to be coached. Every kid we got is just willing to be coached and get better, and that's really something that we really depended on this year. We just didn't have time to do it any other way. And they really bought into what we were doing and our style of play, as you said.
Well, you mentioned a little bit ago about the road game coming up, your regular season finale in Sedalia. That'll be Thursday night. State Fair is playing much better since the last time they played here when you beat them by a pretty sound margin. They've played a lot better since then. So they're starting to get good at the right time.
Yeah, they really have. We'll beat somebody by 5 or 6, and next time they'll play them on a Wednesday, they'll beat them by 30. And don't think we don't see those scores. We do, and you're exactly right. And they've been injured, but the good thing about injuries is, they've got enough kids to play, and boy, you sure gel really well when you're only playing 7 or 8. And they've started to gel really well with those 7 or 8 kids. And it's going to be a tough go on Thursday for us. And the thing is, if we lose that game, or if we win it, we may very well turn around and see them on Friday night in the region tournament a week after that. So they could very well be our opponent. So it could be back-to-back games with State Fair. And boy, that's really going to be tough because the number one seed really, it counts for something this year because we know where we're going to be on Friday night. We don't have to fight through the next 2 weeks. But any of those top 4 teams can easily win the region, and even Moberly, if they're in 5th place, Three Rivers can win the region and go to nationals. So the number one seed means something, but it doesn't give you any advantage going into the Region 16 tourney, really.
And I guess it does seem kind of strange that you're heading into your last game in the region this Thursday. You know you already have number 1 locked up, and I think Crowder's number 6.
Yes.
But you don't know about the rest of it. Mineral
Absolutely.
Area has a chance to get number 2. It could go to State Fair, perhaps. It could still go to maybe Three Rivers. That's pretty amazing.
I think State Fair's loss gave Mineral the number 2 for sure.
Okay.
They're 6-3 right now, and nobody else can get to 6 wins. State Fair's 4-5, Moberly's 4-5, and Three Rivers it could be 4-5 after tonight's game. So nobody else has a chance to get to 6 wins. So it's going to be us and Mineral as the 1 and 2, and as you said earlier, Crowder as the 6. But those 3 middle spots are still yet to be determined, and boy, those are going to make a difference on who we play.
Absolutely.
It makes a big difference.
Three Rivers, we know their athleticism. I mean, all 3 of those teams have pretty good athletes.
Oh,
when you look at it, State Fair, Moberly, and Three Rivers, all
tremendous.
Of them.
Yeah, nobody wants to play Three Rivers. I mean, they're just hard to prepare for, and if State Fair's on a run, they'll beat anybody in the region by 10 or 15. So Mineral and us are very comparable, and that's going to be a dogfight if we get to play them in the region tournament just because we match up. We're similar teams, similar styles of offense and defense, and so there won't be an easy route. And, the prize is pretty big, and, getting to Salina and get a chance to play Iowa Western at home before you go, and so there's a lot on the line coming up in the next couple weeks. Absolutely,
and it's just a matter of keeping the team focused. That's pretty much what you got to do.
It is, and, we've had a good show of that, and I don't want to get off topic, but, we've had just such great administrative support here. You saw that Saturday. Dr. Watts sat on the bench with us. Our AD was here. Marie was here. Debbie was here, our athletic secretary. Sharon Ralph, our administrative assistant. I mean, just everybody was here to support the women's basketball program. And Joellen and her staff and Dr. Watts and his staff, Julia Hampton and everybody, you just can't find better people to support athletics than you've got at Jefferson College. And I think people in the community around here should really be appreciative and supportive of the kind of support we've got. And we kind of do it on a tight budget. It's kind of on a shoestring, but everybody seems to make it work. And I think the people above us are the reason that happens.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck Thursday night against State Fair.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
And again, Kevin Emmerich, he is the head coach of the women's basketball program at Jefferson College. We'll take a break, come back in 2 minutes. We'll be joined by baseball coach Sam Carroll. That comes up next on the Jefferson College Sports Report here on 1400 KJFF.
Great education.
Friendly atmosphere.
Beautiful campus.
The convenience and the affordability.
My experience at Jefferson College has been wonderful.
I find the quality of education here at Jefferson College to be one of a kind.
My experience at Jefferson College has been a major plus in my life and one of the best decisions I've made.
Jefferson College would be the place that I would recommend the most.
I'm Katie Williams.
I'm Kevin Higginbotham.
I'm Ann Martinson.
I'm Tony Markovich, and I'm proud I chose to attend Jefferson College.
And we are back at Jefferson College in Hillsboro on 1400 KJFF, and we're going to spend some time talking with Coach Sam Carroll of the baseball program. And by the way, starting next Tuesday will be the new show coming from originating from Boundaries Sports Bar and Grill in Herculaneum. It'll be Rounding Third with Coach Carroll.
Ooh,
Tuesday,
like
Tuesday night, 6 to 7. There we go. I guess maybe that's our applause.
There you go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that next week. That's going to be fun. Rounding third. Well, I had Lyons round third the other day, and he got thrown out at the plate. So I don't know if that's fitting or what.
Did you send him?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He was rounding third. I was sending him, and he got thrown out to end the game. So that's good coaching.
I was just going to ask if it was a critical time, and yeah, it ended the game.
Yeah,
so.
it was.
Oh goodness, was he out by a mile or?
Half mile.
Okay. Well, you're still having to adjust, I guess, to coaching third, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it was
Yes
a
and no.
wacky play. I mean, it was a situation in the game where we were going to either end it right there or send it into extra innings, and they ended it. So they had to make a great play to get him thrown out the plate, and they did. This was against Fort Smith yesterday in the last game of the day.
Well, let's talk about how things have progressed so far. You opened the season last Thursday Southwestern Illinois College. Got 2 games in with them in Belleville. And tell us a little bit about the 15-7 and 5-0 wins.
Well, 15-7, we came out. We had Ryan Stagner playing center field. We had 9 guys who had violated some team rules that weren't joining us for that game. So Stagner stepped in and did a great job. He had 2 hits and I think 3 RBIs. I mean, for a guy who hasn't swung the bat all year, that's pretty good. Pete Thomas, our shortstop, had 2 home runs in that game, got the scoring started with a 2-run homer in the first. And Cody Whitehead had a big day as well, had a home run and I want to say 3 RBIs. So 15-7 game, we were pretty much in control throughout that game. The next game, the 5-0 game, we scored all 5 runs with the inning started with 2 outs and nobody on base. And so we had some big 2-out hits and our pitchers did a fantastic job. Kyle Smith started it off, got his first win of the year. Then Matt Patterson came in relief. And then we threw Jeff Gradell, Jay Kemper, and I want to say we ended then with Cody Fick. Those guys, on the day, the pitching staff gave up 3 earned runs on the entire day.
That's not too bad.
No, it was a pretty dominating performance.
And it was good. You used 5 different guys in the 5-0 ball game, which is nice. It's exactly what you wanted to do. You wanted to get out there and use several different guys, knowing that you're going to have a busy weekend, but you didn't want to overuse anybody.
No, we didn't. We just wanted to get everybody on the dirt. I mean, shoot, Ryan, that's the first time our pitchers had been on any kind of dirt, bullpen, anything, the entire year. So it was just nice to get everyone reacquainted with the dirt.
And from there, you made the trek down to Arkansas for the weekend, and then unfortunately, you lost 3 out of 4.
Yeah, we did. Fort Smith is a great team. You know, we went out, we put them back on the schedule this year. We went out there last year and played them and took all 4. They were a very young group, a lot of freshmen, but they were pretty good. And in fact, they were 1 win away last year in their regional from moving on to the district round for a chance to go to the World Series.
Wow.
And so we wanted to get them back on the schedule and go down to their place and play, because 7 of their starting 9 were sophomores. So we knew, hey, this was going to be a good opponent and a great test. First night, we get off the bus, we lose 7-2. Their guy just dominated us, struck out 17 of our hitters. You know, we could have had the best rest in the world and it wouldn't have mattered. That guy beat us. He really stuck it to us. And then the next game, which was Saturday, which was another 9-inning affair at night, we lost 14-6. We were in fact winning 6-4 going in the bottom of the 6th and gave up 8 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Really kind of blew up. We had a defensive lapse in that game, and it just kind of got away from us. But we felt pretty close. That night, we kind of had a long talk with the guys, talked about some strategic things, wanted to tighten some things up. Guys really took it to heart. Next day came out, won 8-5, and then the one that really burned was the nightcap there. We were winning 10-1 going into the 4th and lost 11-10. So that was a tough one to swallow, especially when you got a 7-hour bus ride on the way back home.
Now, what happened in that one? Was it just was it errors? Was it giving too many opportunities by the pitchers with walks, or did they just chip away?
It was a little bit of everything, Ryan. And as crazy as this sounds, it was also our offense's fault too. Because I mean, it was a day where the wind was blowing out. You know, it's the 4th game of the series, so the pitching is thin. We scored 6 in the first, 4 in the third, but we had 2 other innings where we left the bases loaded, where if we get a key hit, now it's a 12-run game, 15-run game, and as crazy as that may sound, now you feel a little bit more secure when you're playing in a game where, man, you could bunt a home run out, so to speak.
One of those typical windy early spring games. I shouldn't even say early spring, because we're not even in March yet.
You're right. It was just a crazy game, a typical 4th game of a 4-game series.
What did you see down there that was good? Was there anything?
Arkansas, Fort Smith.
Okay.
How's that one?
There you go.
Our freshmen played really well. Nick Becker was 7 for 14 on the weekend with a home run. Cody Fick, who's going to be our 2-way guy, he played right field, played first base, and actually got a save in a game. He had a home run, a triple, and a double. John Lyons finally got off the schneid. We hit him 3-hole. Early on, he really struggled, made some adjustments, and then Cody Whitehead, who has been the same guy he was last year. He is just a run-producing machine. I mean, he's already got 9 RBIs in 6 games. I mean, this guy, if there's a runner out there that he can drive in, he's going to do it. So offensively, really liked how those guys performed. Kyle Smith threw a fantastic game in the first game of the doubleheader on Sunday. Matt Patterson, another freshman, threw well enough to win. Not great, but well enough to win in the second game of the doubleheader. And Schaefer Hall on the Saturday night game threw well enough to win. We also got a great performance out of Heath Story, who came in relief in one of those games. Shea Brady and Jeff Gradell, I know those guys aren't freshmen, but they haven't really thrown in a competitive environment in 2 years. So the new guys, the inexperienced guys, were the guys that played very well.
Yeah, it looks like you used 13 guys on the bump so far this year already. Mm-hmm. So that's good, though.
It is. We're trying to figure some things out. And, Ryan, it's this time of year. You don't want to throw guys 5 or 6 innings, or they're going to be throwing 3 innings in May. And that's not when you want them throwing 3 innings. So
that's exactly right. You definitely want to hold back a little bit some of these guys that you kind of figure are going to be studs for you.
Yeah, definitely.
As far as starting rotation, things like that.
Oh, sure, no question. I mean, if these 4 games were played 2 months later, I mean, maybe some things would be played a little bit different. So, but it's over with, and honestly, that's a team that we have a shot at seeing possibly in May if we go on and win the regional.
Well, this brings us to what you got on the agenda this week, which is a couple of home games. Mm-hmm. In fact, it'll be Wednesday, the 28th, will be your home opener. Doubleheader with Lincoln Trail starting at noon. Mm-hmm. Lincoln Trail, they're out of Illinois. Mm-hmm. Should be a pretty decent program.
It will. The guy who runs that program is a former D1 coach over at Indiana State, a guy named Mitch Hanna. He also coached in the Cape. Just a super fantastic guy. His teams come out and they play hard. So we've got to play well. It's that whole cliche, you got to play well. And Wren Lake is going to be a 1 9-inning game. And, 9-inning games, we try to play as many as possible because when you get in the postseason, you're going to play 9-inning games. And so we want our guys accustomed to playing 9-inning games. In fact, going back to that Lincoln Trail game, right there it's listed as a noon start. About an hour ago, we went on ahead and changed that to a 1 o'clock start.
Okay.
So I hope I didn't surprise you too much there, Ryan.
No, it should be fine.
Okay.
1 o'clock start should be just fine, no problem.
Good, I'm glad. Hope to see you out there.
Yeah, well, actually, we will be broadcasting that one game, one of the doubleheaders. So looking forward to seeing the team get out there and get it done. Hopefully we'll have good weather for that. And
yeah, we should. Weather
decent.
Should be great. Yeah, weather should be, I think, mid-50s and sunshine. And the one against Wren Lake there should be maybe some question there as to whether or not we get it in.
Has Lincoln Trail played a game yet? Do you know
I don't know. Honestly, we haven't looked at their stuff yet. We just, the bus pulled in about 1 o'clock this morning, and we're trying to just get the field ready to see if it'd be playable for Wednesday. We'll start our reports on Lincoln Trail tonight.
I saw you dragging the field when I was coming in, so obviously you guys have the tarp off and you're working on it and trying to dry it off a little bit.
Yeah, it should be in great shape, which we were a little concerned about before we left for Fort Smith, but we pulled the tarp off and, man, it was phenomenal. So we should be good to go on Wednesday.
Who are you going to start, do you think?
Oh, we know already. Kyle Boschert will start game 1, and then Jeff Gradell, our little soft-throwing left-hander, who is a spark plug, to say the least, is going to get the ball in game 2. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time.
Injury-wise, you in good shape right now? You got any guys that are kind of banged up right now?
Yeah, Brandon Wings, who started left field early in the series and had a great day against Swick. He's battling some arm problems. Cody Whitehead is still battling his shoulder problems. He'll be able to DH, but we need him over at third base immediately. And Cody Stites, we'll get an MRI on him done, and then Zach Niesline's getting an MRI on his elbow. Those are 2 injuries that have lingered with those 2 gentlemen for the last 8 to 12 months. So they're going to get another MRI and see what's going on.
All right. So as far as trying to come up with your starting lineup, I guess, for that game, still kind of up in the air and questionable, huh?
I like to wait until right after we take BP there, Ryan. I tend to change my mind at the last second.
You want to see who's swinging pretty good.
Yeah, a little bit. I tell you, hey, here's the story. BP's a little overrated. Yesterday we're at Fort Smith hitting on the field, and I swear to you, our first group that hit did not hit a ball out of the infield. I almost canceled BP because they were so bad. And then we come out and score 18 runs. Go figure.
And the 2 games combined.
Yeah, there you go. So BP's overrated, so whatever.
Well, hey, whatever works, right?
You're right.
If you want to save it for the game, that's fine.
Well,
as long as you do it in the game.
That's right. They certainly saved it for the game. So
that's
it was good
to see. Coach, thanks a lot. We'll let you go. We'll talk a little bit more. We'll see you on Wednesday and again next week from 6 to 7. Tuesday at Boundaries in Herculaneum will be the first edition of Rounding Third with Coach Carroll.
That's going to be a great time. Hope to see some of the community out there as well. We'll have some T-shirts, maybe a couple hats and stuff like that to hand out as well. So we hope to see a lot of people out there.
There we go. That'll be next week. But the Jeffco home opener comes up Wednesday. Now 1 o'clock start for that as they take on Lincoln Trails. And we'll call it a wraps here from the Jefferson College Fieldhouse. This has been the Jeffco Sports Report. I'm Ryan Reinheimer. So long for now.
Exceptional education.
Spectacular experience.
The personalization.
It was convenient.
It's a fun atmosphere.
And my personal experience here has just been wonderful.
It just opened up a whole new horizon for our family.
Arnold, High Ridge, and the Hillsborough campus has been very convenient.
I recommend Jefferson College every day to anyone who will ask.
I'm Russ Hilton.
I'm Jan.
I'm Brandon Berger.
I'm Liz Lando, and I'm proud I chose to attend Jefferson College.